everyone, I'm Jo Agresta, the CEO and co-founder of Abodey and Abodey PRO, and today I'm giving you a demo on our relaunched platform of Abodey PRO. We've listened to consumer feedback over the last 8 months. Thank you to those who have contributed in making our new platform more usable. So today I'm going to run you through what's changed, the new updates, the new interface, and then some of the exciting updates that you're going to see week by week over the next quarter and the next 12 months. So stick around. If you don't know much about Abodey and what we do, we help property professionals and consumers buy property with AI and tools that are going to help you save time, money, and hopefully, more efficiency by partnering with other data providers that are more skilled in the space. So let's crack into what we do and what the new updates are. All right, so I've got my screen shared here. So this is our new login screen. So for those existing customers of ours, you'll be able to log in with your current credentials, and we've got a redirect from our old site to this new website as well from, when you want to log in. So Abodey PRO, now if you're a mortgage broker, a buyer's agent, or any property professional who is used to preparing reports for buyers, this is really what the platform is meant for. So once you log in, you can see that we've got Brody here who's telling you how to use the platform. So for us, what we're big on is 3 core features. Your buyer brief, so that is your buyer's wants and needs, who they are, how they live, whether they're an investor or they're an owner-occupier buyer. The way that brief is constructed, you only have to do it once, and then once it's locked away, you can then start generating reports in under 30 seconds, and I'll show you the power of this engine. So let's follow the prompts and see what we've got here. Now, before I go any further, I'll show you some of the basic features. So when you start to do a couple of reports and you've done these actions, this guy Brody will disappear and you'll just start to see your most recent reports, your most recent buyers and your company information all here. So let's go ahead and customize our brand first so we can see what reports will actually look like. And you can get to that via settings or via that hotkey at the top. So your organization details will be the details that you use to sign up initially. So you can see my information here. And then if you go into brand, this is where we're going to set the colors for our reports. Go and select your, whatever colors you like or what you normally do. I tend to kind of do a darkerish color at the top and then a lighter color for our branding over here, something like that. But we'll see how it turns out. The next part is choosing your logos. Now, obviously my branding is Abodey, but you're not going to have that branding. So this is really, it's been set up so you can tailor your reports to look like yours, not like ours. And that's the whole purpose. So I'm going to choose a logo on the first page, and then the header logo will appear on every single page, and I'll show you a preview of what that looks like. So if I go here and I'll select a slightly different one for the header, and then I'll show a preview of what that's going to look like. And you can see here that Abodey like this is going to appear on every page. And then you can start to customize, like, do you prefer darker colors or lighter colors of these reports? So that's something you can play with. You can save your updates. And then once they're committed to, you'll be able to continuously, update and change these as you see fit. So let's go back to the beginning. So here it says to get started is create a buyer profile. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put in some very basic test information here. I'm going to say that Joey Tribbiani is here, joey@pizza.com.au. You can tell I'm a Friends fan. So here's one of the features that everyone asked for. We used to make you answer every single question according to who your buyer was. So the first demo I'll give you is kind of like these upsizing, downsizing families. And what we've gone ahead and done is assumed some information that you're able to change yourself if you're not happy with the assumed data. So we've profiled these guys based on what we typically see from these buying categories, but you can also change the specifics if it's not suited to your buyer. And then you've got an unsure category, which means that's going to ask you every single question instead of just assuming some information here. So let's start with first home buyer as an owner-occupier. So you can see here we ask you about their interests. We've made some assumptions that they probably like dining out, they probably like nature, holidays, home decor, family, friends. but you can feel free to tick more or to untick ones that aren't suitable. I'm just going to add gym and fitness. You can say if they've got pets, you can say they've got dogs. This is an optional question, so if you left it blank, you can say that they don't have pets. But for this case, I'm going to say they've got a dog and a cat. Their goal would probably be to stop renting and future financial gains because it's their first home. Next, you can say, their experience, first home buyer. And then if you go to the next part, this is one of the updates I really love, and this mapping functionality is only going to get better with time. So let's say that these guys, or this particular couple I have, or family I've got, is looking in Cranbourne East. And what you can do here is you can zoom in and out of the area. That's one thing you can do. And you can set a kilometre radius to say, oh, look, these guys are going to look within 15 kilometres of that suburb that we've selected. So once you zoom out, you can actually see what kinds of suburbs that's picking up within 15 Ks. So you can see Sandhurst, Botanic Ridge. Alternatively, if they want to look outside of Cranbourne as well, and let's say they want to, they're open to somewhere still kind of southeast, but a little bit further out, we'll go to Bond Beach, right? Here we go. So you can see it just falls out of that 15 Ks, but if we had it spread out a little bit further, I would have caught the catchment. So once you zoom out, this is going to give you like some kilometres, and this will only get better with time. And one of the features I love is the way we've done this for work. So let's say they work in Dandenong, right? And now it's mapped work on the thing. So I'll just reduce this so you can see how it's mapping it. You're going to be able to see all these distances. Let's say they've got family that live in Limbrook, and that's why they're moving there. And maybe they've got, their friends that also are located a little bit further out, let's say Clayton. So this is going to give you a really good map, even for your consumers, to see, well, they're wanting to buy here. That's how far away they are. They're outside of a 20-kilometre radius, they're friends, but within 20 kilometres, they kind of hit all the things that they need to hit. Work, family, and anything else that you choose on this list if it's important. Now, once you've done that, we've assumed some of the amenities that would be important to a first home buyer, but your buyers might have different preferences. They might have children, so childcare might be of interest, or schools being nearby. So you can select and deselect what you need. Let's say in this case, I don't really need childcare, but schools is definitely of interest. And then what type of properties they're interested in. Again, these have all been ticked, but you can untick the ones that aren't appropriate. So for these guys, I would say not an apartment, but I would be happy with those three. And then doing the same thing for bedrooms now, right? So minimum they'll need is a three-bedder. Minimum bathrooms, I'll say 2. And then 1, 2-car space would be preferred. And land size, I don't mind. I just want it to be any. So if you move these across the way, any at either end will give you that any result. And you can be more specific if you move it along if you have to. Let's go next. Now some of the nice to have. So you've got here, nice to have is 1 click and a must have is 2 clicks. So if I click this once and click it again, it'll change to yellow and star it. So we've assumed some stuff that would be a must have, but again, you can deselect it and then reselect it if you want. I would say NBN's a must have. I'd also say something like heating and aircon's usually a must, but it would be nice if there was no body corp, I'd be happy with that, and no owner's corp. And it would be nice if there was an alarm. Now, deal breakers. Your customer might have said something to you about what they absolutely don't want. So for example, I get this a lot. My client doesn't want to have a property on a funny shaped block, and they want to be closer to their parents in Limbrook, as they have young kids that sometimes need childcare, right? Renovations, they're open to small renos, and now their budget. So we can go and set this as wide or as high as we want. We assumed some values here, but let's say 450 to probably, I would say anywhere up to the 750-ish, right? And then their timeline to purchase, they want to purchase within 0 to 3 months, and they're probably going to keep this house for 3 to 5 years. It's more their starter home. Then we're going to add that buyer in. Now, once the buyer's been added, we can see his profile. So Joey here is now done. So you don't have to do this every single time. Obviously, if something changes, like you can edit this and then start to open up all the categories and location details. They might have changed location. You can, delete that and go, no, they're not looking in Bondi Beach. They decided against it. Now Carrum Downs is the next one. Right, and then once they do that and you save it, it's going to update that information for you. You'll get a confirmation at the top saying it's been updated, and then you can go back and see that that has now been removed from their list in terms of where they're looking. And once you've done that, you're now happy to move on to reports, and this is the power of our engine and why we love it. So there's 2 places you can do this. Within the buyer profile, you can generate a new report, or you can go home and start from scratch and go generate a new report from here. And then what it will do is, depending on how many buyers you have in the system, you can pick from the buyers in your list. You would select this guy, you'd go next, and then you would search an address. So for example, I'm going to choose a random address, and this is, I'll show you 2 examples. One of a property that does not fit the bill and how our AI responds, because the beauty of it is it's going to tell you whether it's a good or bad fit for your client. It's not biased in that way. So if I go Guild Avenue, Noble Park, next, it's now going to say, cool, do you want me to generate a report for that? Absolutely. And now it's going to start generating all the data and insights. So while we're waiting, you'll see here that this is going to start to do a collection. So it's telling you what status it's in. It's collecting data. We're partnered with PropTrack, which is realestate.com. We use them for all of our property information. So that's listing information and data. That's also like some of your data metrics like yield, suburb information, median price. Then we use hotspotting, which does most of the heavy lifting for our suburb information. That'll tell you if it's a performing suburb or a declining suburb. It'll give you some of the performance metrics over a 5-year period and a 6-month period and 3-month period in terms of sales price, and a whole heap of other really cool insights for suburbs. And then we're also partnered with Land Checker that does your strata, your restrictions and easements, bushfire zoning, flood zones, and it flags it in their premium property report, which we give to you through our own reporting. And you can see there it's collecting the Land Checker data as we're waiting. Then we also are partnered with ABS, which means we get all of the statistics from, your demographics, like, average age of people purchasing, whether the socioeconomic factors in the sense of like the safer score, all of that stuff is coming from ABS. So what we're trying to do is consolidate where you get your data from. So instead of you having to have multiple subscriptions, you have one, you get all the insights in one place, and then you can generate reports quickly to then see if they're going to suit your client long term or not. And you can see here that the report's now been generated. Now, of course, this has my branding on it. As you saw at the start, we set up my branding, so this will have your branding instead of ours. And then you can see, if you do the drop downs here, that our AI has done an assessment on whether this property is a good or bad fit. So you can start to go through the data here. You can see here that the property is not currently listed for sale. This is a great example because we do search off-market properties as well as on-market. The only caveat there is that if the property has no digital footprint, so what that means is if it's never been sold on realestate.com in its lifetime, then you're not going to get the data on it. We're working on that, but at the moment you won't. But if it has been sold within the last 30 years, it's got some sort of digital footprint, the report and the data should appear. And then obviously for on-market properties, it will be there. So you can see for our family that we picked out, it's a strong overall fit for a family home. The must-haves are covered. Outdoor areas, landscape courtyard, manicured backyard, medium-sized block, suitable for kids and pets. It's really customizing it. And the way I would say you use these reports is to give them to your home buyer clients or your investor clients to help them make a decision. So you're not using it to give them all the data up front and overwhelm them. You're using it to say, here's some basic due diligence. Do you like what you're seeing? If you do, I will go to level 2 due diligence, and that's where our future tools that are coming out over the next few weeks will start to help you. You can see here, it's a short drive to Noble Park Station, town centres, the trade-offs that it's not in your preferred Cranbourne East or Carrum Downs, and it's only moderately close to your parents in Limbrook rather than very close. NBN and broadband is highly likely in Noble Park but should be confirmed, heating's not specified. You can see the condition, well maintained, owner built, cared for over decades, mid-century character, solid construction. And then one of my favourites that we do is the compromises. The asking rate sits above your stated budget, location is outside your preferred suburbs, etc. You can keep reading. And then it will give you a tip on investment potential as well based on the data. And you can see here that when you go through the report, this information is the same, but it's being rejigged to suit your client. So this is what the client's going to see, but this is the data you see on the right. When we go to property insights and we go back to the top, you can see we give you orientation, we give you some of the metrics on private sale, estimated price. You can see 3 Guild Avenue, Noble Park. You can see the sales history. And then you've got the premium land checker report, which actually publishes. So when you've got the premium property report from Land Checker, that's just going to go through all your zoning and information. And you can download that separately. And that will also be published in your report on the left. Down here, when you go through it, you can see that the property report information is here, view full report. And then you've got you can open up your bushfire prone area. You can see it's not in bushfire. You can see all that information here, site dimensions. You can see how large it is and what kind of block it's on. And then suburb fit. So this one here will go through, what government area it's in, who owns it outright, the suburb fit, so if the location's suitable, and then all of the nearby preferences that you chose. So if you said in your buyer's brief that needed to be close to public transport, close to schools or shopping centres, it's going to pick all those out here, and it will also publish it on the report. And then you've got the frequent locations that we chose. So we said that work was in Dandenong, family was in Limbrook, friends are in Clayton, and this has calculated the driving time to those locations based on this one. Demographics, so again, this is our ABS data where we have median monthly repayments. This is based on the census information, and as you know, we're due for a census this year, so we'll get an updated data set from that too. And we also give you burglary statistics. So this is an owner-occupier version report. And this is how it sort of puts the information in a sequence for your customers. Now, if we go back to the top here, there's a section that says professional summary. You have the choice whether you want to write a note to your customer or not. You absolutely don't have to. If you leave this blank and you save PDF, it's just going to save it as is and that's it. If you want to write something, you go, hey there, hey, here is XYZ, whatever messages and extra data points you want to put in, you'll save the PDF and then that'll export into a download and then you can email that off to your customer. We are working on email integration in a future state, like in some of the features coming up this year, to make that easier for you guys. But that's just one feature for you to be aware of. Okay, so just going to go back to the top here, close that out. And let's go through an investor profile now. So you can see here your latest reports sit under the report tab. And if you go home, you'll see that your latest reports as you generate them will appear here. So now if we add another buyer, let's go into a new buyer and we'll go over Ross Geller. I don't know how to spell his name. Ross. Just being random. And now we're going to choose the investor profile because this is a different set of questions and assumptions. So you can see here, what are their goals? Probably capital growth, high rental yield, portfolio diversification, and anything else you want to tick here. Their buying experience, they're probably a second time investor or maybe they're seasoned. They've got more than 3 properties or 2 properties under their belt. And then here, you're going to do the same thing again. Let's say they're looking in Bendigo this time. And we'll go, population is something I didn't go through before, but you can choose, I was going to say we'll go Jackass Flat as well. You can see how far they are from each other. Are they within, yep, they're within like a 4K radius of each other. And you can choose up to 5 suburbs, and also the LGA size is completely personal. Some people have preference, some people don't, but you can search that by LGA size. Next is, what are the important amenities? They're probably looking for tenant appeal here, so schools being nearby is good for infrastructure and value, but tenant appeal would be like your childcare, your hospitals, shopping districts, public transport. What type of properties they're interested in. If it was, I would agree with this, not being apartments. Bedrooms, they're probably looking for 3 bed, 1 bath, 1 car, minimum 200 metre square land size. I'd probably bump that up a little bit to something decent, maybe around 400. And then I'll say, anything above that's great. If we go next, properties that have vacant possession preferred, no preference. Properties with strata or owner's corp, okay, no preferred, right? So you prefer no owner's corp. Deal breakers. So deal breakers for investors could be, prefers rental yields sitting at a min of 4.5%. They want decent tenant appeal and lower vacancy rates, and no built up busy roads, let's say, as an example. And they're open to small renos. So here you can now set your budget. So you can see here 400,000 is probably right, and they're probably going to sit just below that 600,000 mark. Their rental yield is almost right. We'll put that up to about 4% and keep it at 15, because the more the better. And then you add that buyer in. So now we've got our investor profile. Now once we're here, again, you can generate a report from here. And when you do, it's already picked the buyer. But if you want to add a new buyer here because they're not in the list, you can do so. Or you can go from the home page and generate a report there. And sometimes with this address search, it either wants you to write the full street or it wants you to write ST. So you just have to play with it. We'll make that better. And then next you're going to generate a report for Ross. And again, we're going to go through the same process. Now, this time where our reports differ is we don't do so much of like that. With owner-occupiers, we're much more focused on location and suitability. In this case, we're more focused on data and investment criteria. So the data metrics you get are much richer. Now, the next update that we'll do in this app in the next month is going to be exposing investment data even for owner-occupier reports. And then you have the choice to select what data points you want to put in your reports. So that feature's coming out quite soon. We're very excited for it. It was a big request. But the first job we had was to reimagine how this platform was going to look. So you can go on our YouTube and have a look at the earlier MVP that we generated or that we built last year that did really well. We got a lot of customers and a lot of great insights and feedback from our pilot group. So this is really, the updates you're seeing today are really because of their insights and their expertise, and it's informed our entire roadmap. So please jump in and check it out. Feel free to give us your feedback on what you want to see next. But once this report generates, I'd be excited to show you, all the investment criteria that we have. But in terms of what's coming up with us, we are currently working on CMA reports, which is competitive market analysis reports. We're also working on suburb matching and integrating also our other product with hotspotting, which is property match. So we've got a joint product with hotspotting.com.au, which goes through matching properties and criteria instead of you just generating reports on search. Okay, so now that that report's been generated, you can see all these insights, and the report itself has been built for you in a few seconds. Like, it literally takes maybe 30 seconds. It's awesome, if I don't say so myself. Again, this is our match analysis, so you can go through a very similar process. We more call out like the investment potential here, whether it suits them or not. What it's currently doing, what it's on market for, the budget and pricing, all of that stuff. When you go to property insights, again, we've got our estimated price. If you go into this report actually and you scroll a little bit further down, you'll see that the valuation data's here. So you can see what the high confidence, low confidence, or high and low values are and where it sits. And we also call it out here for you, and you can see based on what the asking price is, and that should give you a few indicators. When you go down, you've obviously got some sales history here. It was sold in September. You can look at the land checker reports again, or the site dimensions, if it's in a bushfire zone. Be curious on that one. Yeah, I thought so. So it's smack bang in the middle of a bushfire zone. And then you've got your suburb information. Once again, we just do a summary of how suited it is for tenant appeal. So the language model talks differently, and you can see here it aligns with your deal breaker criteria for tenant appeal and lower vacancy rates. So it's really customized, and we can't generate a report the same every time. It's always going to be custom to that brief. And then we give you obviously burglary stats as well as the demographics information. Now here's the hero of it, the investment data. So you can see here that Long Gully aligns well with investment goals if you seek solid capital growth combined with reliable rental returns from an area showing balanced tenure dynamics and healthy employment participation levels. Its socio-economic profile supports ongoing value retention, while active buyer and renter interest helps maintain liquidity for your asset. You've got a PPI indicator which comes from our partners at Hotspotting. So they've got a formula that they use to characterise rising, declining or stabilising markets, and this one is smack bang in the middle of a rising market. And you can see here based on some of the metrics, so 12-month median price range or price, the 10-year growth average, the 3-month price change. Then we go through market stability and growth, so strong rental market, the median yield is fantastic, vacancy rate's not bad. Strong rental market is a summary, and then you've got the same with demand dynamics, and you get a few extra data points within these boxes, so it's important to read them. Socioeconomic factors and the CEFA decile scores, demographics and socioeconomic factors, so talking about what this information actually means in context. Housing tenure, same thing, and then employment and labour force. Now when you go down towards this left side where you're actually seeing the report data, if we go down to investment insights, this has again been reimagined for your customers so they can read it in a different layout, but same information that you're seeing. And then when you go down, we give them an extra bit, and it's pros and considerations and the AI summary. So investing in Long Gully offers you several advantages, considerations on the downside. Home ownership rates are below optimal levels, which might indicate some volatility or less community stability compared to high ownership areas. So this is really just a quick snapshot that in under 30 seconds, once you've got a profile and a customer already here, you're able to just generate reports at your fingertips to get quick data and analysis. So this is a global search at the top. If you wanted to search for a person, it'll do a search for a customer. If you wanted to do a search for a location, it'll do a search for a location and show you reports. So it's an intelligent search if you've got a lot on your plate. But when you go to the home page, this is stuff that you can already see. Your most recent buyers are here, your most recent reports are here. If you wanted to go into reports specifically, you can see that we do archive items after a time, and you can, open and close these little tabs if you prefer not to see them. You can generate new reports from here. There's also notifications that are coming in that you're going to be able to get alerts for property behaviour and properties that will suit your customers. So that's coming up very shortly, which will be exciting. And that really completes the demo of the new Abodey Pro and some of the updates that are coming up. So thank you so much for sticking with me on this demo. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can also do your demo. We give a free trial for 7 days with no credit card details that you need to attach, just so you can properly test the system without pressure. You can do that via our website under Abodey Pro. But you go to abodey.com.au and you can search up professional tools and this product will be there, but we'll put all the links in the video below. But thank you so much for sticking around for the demo. Drop your comments below, subscribe to our channel for more exciting content and updates as we do them. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.